Okay, guys. So in the last session, in the last week, we discussed about deployment part of our application. We had deployed our application on the Jenkins, and later we access this application through the Tomcat server. So in this today's session, we have started discussion related to the load balancer. What exactly the load balancer? What is the use of the load balancer? And how load balancer is going to accessed by browser, right? So our aim is anyone can access our load balancer and see the output of the load balancer, right? So first of all, let's discuss about the load balancer. Then we can start. What is the use of the load balancer? When load balancer comes into the picture, whenever we have created one website, let's suppose there is one website, right? Makemytrip.com, right? There is one website. So inside of that website, when load balancer comes into the picture, right? And what is a load balancer? How load balancer is working for our any application, right? That is a very, very important, guys, right? So let me share my screen and we can start for the load balancer. So in the next week we can start for the Kubernetes and Docker, because it will take some time for it, because we need to set up the servers on our system. Later we can start for this Kubernetes and Docker. So meanwhile we can start for the load balancer, right? So let me share first and we can discuss about the load balancer, guys. If anyone know about the load balancer, please you can tell me what is the load balancer, guys. I hope everyone is visible to screen, guys, right? Okay. So guys, load balancer, wait. Right. This is also one of the cloud service, guys, right? First of all, theoretically we can try to understand for with this load balancer, then we can start for this practical session, guys, right? First of all, what is the load balancer? What is the load balancer? What is a load balancer, guys? The load balancer is one of the service, right, which comes from the AWS cloud, right? So also in the GCP or Azure, there we have the load balancer service, right? So basically we had already started with the AWS. So AWS have one service that is called as a load balancer, right? So load balancer, first of all, load balancer is a service, guys, right? Load balancer is a service, or we can say that this is the device that will help us to distribute the load. Load balancer, it means it will help us to distribute the load on the multiple servers, right? Let me show you one website and accordingly we can analyze what is a load balancer, guys. Make my trip. Right, this is one of the website, guys, Make My Trip. It will help us to book the tickets. Suppose if you want to go to the outside, then you can book the tickets, flight bookings. You can book the tickets for the hotels. You can book the ticket for the trains, buses, cabs, right? Those are the APIs, right? It means Spring Boot APIs. You know, like Java backend application, and Spring Boot will help us to create one application, right? So this is the application API. The hotel is one of the second application API. Homestay villas is our third application API. Holidays packages, trains, buses, cabs, right? Those are the independence API. It means this is our microservice based application, right? Every application have the different database. Flight bookings. When we click on this flight booking, when we click on this flight booking, automatically you will get the information from the backend regarding of the flights. When our flight is going to take off, right? What are the types of the flights are available? What is the fare of this flight, right? Then when we click on this hotel, you will get only the hotel information, right? When we click on this trains, you will get the train information regarding of this train, offers of the train, upcoming trains, right? When we click on this buses, you will get the buses information, right? So how it is comes into the picture, guys? Buses, when we click on this bus, you will get the buses information. It means every application have the different database, right? It means This is not a monolithic kind of application, right? This is our microservice based application. Every application have one database. Hotel bookings have one database. Holidays packages have one database. Trains have one database. Buses have one database, right? And here is the website. According to this Make My Trip, you can access all those APIs. Are you guys understood? According to this API, we can try to access all those API. When we click on this flight, makemytrip.com/flights are comes into the picture. When we click on this hotels, makemytrip.com hotels is comes into the picture. It means according to that our URL is going to change, right? Then when load balancer is comes into that picture, guys, right? This is very important point. First of all, let me write here. Load balancer is nothing but one of the service. Load balancer is one of the service, or we can say that this is one of the device, right? This is one of the device. It will help us, or that will help us to distribute the load on multiple server, right? So load balancer is one of the service, right? We can give the load balancer service from the from the cloud infrastructure, and according to that we can use this service in our application, right? So what is the use of load balancer to use in our application? We'll discuss about it, guys. First of all, load balancer is one of the service or device that distribute the load on the multiple server, right? Across the multiple server, or we can say that the instance, right? So what load balancer, what are the advantages over this load balancer, guys? What are the advantages of the load balancer over our application? First one is high availability. The advantages are high availability, right? High availability. The second one is reliability. It means load balancer is a very reliability, right? Then third one is fault tolerance, right? The second one is reliability. Then third one is fault tolerance, right? Then the last one is efficient utilization of our resources. It means, let me write here, efficient utilization of resources. This is very important, guys. Utilized our resources efficiently. It means when we are going to use the load balancer for our application, every server is utilized according to that, guys. First of all, load balancer is one of the service, or we can say that this is the device that distribute the load on the multiple server, right? Then second one is, the first advantage over the load balancer is high availability, right? When we are invoke this load balancer for our application, the load balancer server is going to up, and according to that we can access our application smoothly. Reliability, the load balancer is reliable. Then fault tolerance and efficient utilization of our resources, guys, right? Let's suppose one example. Let me give one example, guys. First of all, so instead of one server handling the thousands of requests, right? When we are going to click on this flight booking, the first flight booking request is comes into that API. When we are going to click on this hotel booking, the hotel booking are able to access the API from the backend. Data is able to access from the database, and you can able to see the data in front of this UI, guys, right? When we are going to click on this trends, automatically the APIs are communicate with our database, and according to that you will get the data, right? So it means every time, suppose I'm going to click on this flight by 10 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Accordingly, 10 requests are going to throw to the database, and database are preparing the data and bring the data for us, guys, right? It means every time, whenever you can click on this trend, the API is going to request it to the database, and you will get the data. When we can click on this buses, the buses API is going to communicate with our database and you will get the data, right? It means I am the first person. So in the world, number of people are going to visit this MakeMyTrip application. I'm going to click on this flight booking for upcoming flights, right? The people are also looking for the trains, right? Suppose upcoming Diwali occasions, the people are going to travel by the trains. The people are going to travel by the flights, right? The people are going to stay with the hotels as well, right? So accordingly, people are going to access this MakeMyTrip application and going to the click on this API. I mean, whenever you can, I mean, so people want to stay with the hotels or people want to travel with the trains, then people are going to click on this travel and going to book the tickets. Am I right? Yeah, any doubts, guys? I mean, okay. So people are going to click on these trains and people are going to book the tickets accordingly, right? But what exactly they happen in background, guys? Why load balancer is a very important for us, guys? That is very, very important. Let me show you one more example, guys.
Hello, sir.
Yes? Yes, Venkatesh.
Sir, I have doubt about what is API, sir. Little bit explain.
Oh, okay. So API is, like Java backend application.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So API is what we can say that API is like we can say that suppose we have the application and if you want to access the data, API is going to communicate with the database and bring the data. That is a API. So there are multiple types of the API like get API, like put API, delete API and update API. If you want to get the data from the database, when you are going to click on this flight, you will get the data, right? Delhi to Bangalore flight is available by departure by 21st of September, right? Which is the Sunday. So this data comes from the database, right? According to the API. So API is going to communicate with our database and it will bring the data accordingly, right? When you can click on these buses, you will get the information about the buses. When you click on this search button, and if you want to search here, suppose you want to go to the Bangalore to the Chennai and just click on the search, right? So API will help us to bring the data for this Bangalore to the Chennai by upcoming days and you will get the number of buses, right? The ticket price is 379, right? This is the bus like AC seater plus bus is available, sleeper 2+1, right? Also there are different times zones are available like 9:50. This bus is arrived from the 9:50. This bus is arrived from the 10:20, right? So those data comes from the database according to the API. So API will help us to bring the data. That is the API, right? So the backend developers are able to like write this API to communicate with our database and accordingly we can access the API in front of you guys, in front of our user interface, right? Same situation for the flights as well. If you want to get the flights from the Mumbai to Bangalore, then you can search here. You can select here the Mumbai, right? And just click on the search. So who is responsible for this communication? In the backend communication, it means in the backend what will happen, guys? In the backend in the database, Mumbai to Bangalore flights. Every Mumbai to Bangalore flights, available flights are in front of you, right? So this is the first flight, Akasa Air. It will approach from this 2:20, right? It will take the 1 and 50 minutes, right? 4:10, you will reach out to the Bangalore, right? The price is 3,831, right? So those data comes from the database with the help of an API. That is the API, right? Are you guys clear about this point? Everyone? Yes, Venkatesh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's discuss about what is the load balancer and first of all, let's discuss about the real-time example for the load balancer, guys. Let's see one example. Imagine there is upcoming India versus Pakistan match in the Dubai, right? So millions of people want to book the tickets, right? Millions of people want to book the flight tickets at the same time, right? Suppose tomorrow is our match. I mean, day before yesterday we are done with the match, right? India Pakistan. Let's suppose in this upcoming week we have again match with the Pakistan, right? So imagine there is upcoming match with the India versus Pakistan in the Dubai, right? So people are want to attend this match, right? People are want to attend this match live, right? So millions of people want to book the flight tickets. So people are go to so we have the application like Make My Trip. Accordingly, people are comes here and people are want to book the flight ticket, right? So millions of people want to book the flight ticket from the different location. I'm sitting in the Pune, right? So I'm going to book this ticket. My friend is sitting in the Mumbai, so he is going to book the ticket. Another friend is sitting in the Delhi. He is going to book the ticket from Delhi to Dubai, from Mumbai to Dubai, right? From Pune to Dubai, right? So it means millions of people want to book the ticket. So if all requests are comes into the flight, guys, at a one time, so it will crash and it will it will imagine like our flight is going to overload, because daily, like suppose we don't have any vacation or we don't have any match day in this upcoming weeks, right? So daily daily this flight server is able to access 1,000 requests or 10,000 requests, right? And suppose tomorrow or day after tomorrow we have the upcoming match, so according to that our requests are increased by 10 times, 20 times, 30 times as well, right? So our flight server is going to crash. It will like imagine like it will like possibility our flight server is going to crash, because daily the flight server is going to flight server is fight with the 10,000 requests, but tomorrow is our match, so accordingly today the flight is going to access 1 lakh request or 2 lakh request or 3 lakh request, right? Because millions of people want to book the flight tickets from the different location. So at this moment, if all requests are go to the one server only, this is the one server, right? This is also one of the hotel is one of the one server, right? Train is one of the one server, right? So if all requests go to the one server, it will crash. The server is going to crash, guys. Or server, we can say that the server is going to overload. You will get the output, but it will take some time, right? Because you are trying to book this ticket by early one day, and millions of people want to access this ticket or book this ticket by today only, because tomorrow is our upcoming match, right? So here our server is going to crash, and at this moment our load balancer is comes into the picture, guys. Our load balancer will help here. So what exactly does by load balancer, guys? Load balancer will help us to distribute the load, or we can say that distribute the booking request to the multiple server according to the flights. We have one server is a flight, right? So according to that, we need to create some child server there. Flight is one of the one server. This is our parent server, right? According to that, we can create the 10 more servers, guys, and we can able to access. We can able to distribute the load from the multiple servers to the multiple servers, right? So it means we can distribute the booking request to the multiple server, like server number 1, server number 2, server number 3, up to the server number 10. If one request or one server goes down, then traffic automatically moves to the another server, because the flight is overloaded. Millions of requests are comes into the picture. According to that, our flight request goes down. So if we crash our one servers, then in the background or in the backend we have the 10 servers. So automatically one server, when one server goes down, the traffic is automatically shift to the healthy servers or shift to the another servers, guys, right? So that is nothing but in between this flight parent server and flight child server, our load balancer is going to work. Every application, Make My Trip application, Amazon application, Flipkart application, Myntra application, every application have the load balancer, guys. Because of you will able to access our application. Amazon want to access how Amazon feel like our Amazon is goes down, right? The business is going to drop, right? Also for this Make My Trip, you are not able to book this flight because we have the lots of requests there. Then people are not coming for this Make My Trip application, guys, to book the flight ticket or a train ticket or bus tickets, right? So Make My Trip also want our application should look like, or application should like working like a smooth, right? So for that, every application, every major application have the load balancer, and load balancer will distribute the load on the multiple servers, guys, right? So customer, it According to that, our customer get the faster response and no one misses the booking, guys. And here is the duty of our load balancer.
So I have one doubt, technical doubt actually. Who decide that the server is loaded, and what is the scenario? How to know that first server is loaded and need to distribute this request to another
Right,
server?
right. That is a very, very important question, guys. Again, after this load balancer and in between the API, in between this flight server and load balancer, our auto scaling is work here. So some of the people sir know about the auto scaling, guys. Auto scaling is a very fastest service, which is also comes from the AWS cloud, guys. We will discuss about the auto scaling later, because you should know first of all how load balancer is going to work, and later we can start our discussion related to the auto scaling. The auto scaling is a comes into the picture. Auto scaling know about everything, which server is a crash, or how many requests, sorry, how many servers we needed for this flight, because daily our flight is going to work, going to fight with the 10,000 requests, and today we have the 5 lakh request, right? So how many server we want to create here, that is the calculation part, right? So for this, auto scaling is a comes into the picture, and auto scaling will going to work on it, guys. And auto scaling will automatically increase the number of server, and load balancer will, and the duty of the load balancer here, suppose we have the 10 servers. So first request, I'm going to click on this first request, I'm going to refresh this page. It means our first request is comes into the flight server. First request is goes to the server number 1. Someone is from the Mumbai is going to click on this flight, I mean for this flight booking, then his request is goes to the second server. Someone is coming, I mean someone is try to book the flight ticket from the Delhi, his request is goes to the third server. Next request is goes to the fourth server. Next request is goes to the fifth server. Up to the 10 request is completed, 11th request is goes to the first server again. That is nothing but the round robin technique.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, how many requests one server will handle, sir?
Yeah, exactly. So according to the load of our application, guys, let's suppose we have one dummy, dummy number. The 1 lakh request is handled by the flight server only, because the flight have the multiple information. Because like when we are trying to book the ticket by the flights, there have some classes are available: first class ticket, economic ticket, second class ticket, right? It means we have the lots of information in our backend. According to that, we have the dummy number is 1 lakh requests are handled by the flight. Only one server is going to handle by the flight server, guys, right? And suppose you will get the 5 lakh requests at a daily, so you need to up 4 more servers, guys. According to that, our flights are going to book the tickets, and you will get the response, and customer get the quick response or faster response, right? So for these buses, we have the lots of requests handled by the buses, guys. I mean like 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, right? So in the Diwali vacation as well, number of people sir want to book the ticket by the buses, right? At this moment also, we need to create, or auto scaling will work on it, and auto scaling will create, or auto scaling will generate 1 more server, or 1 to 2 more servers. Accordingly, our load balancer will distribute the load on the child server, guys, right? Here also we have the flight tickets, flight booking. Upcoming we have the India versus Pakistan match. Accordingly, we have the 5 more server. The first request is goes to the first server, second request is goes to the second server, third is for the third, fourth is for the fourth, fifth is for the fifth request, and sixth request is again goes to the first server. Seventh request is again goes to the second server. Eighth request is goes to the third server. That is nothing but the round robin technique. Are you guys clear about this point, everyone? How internally work for this load balancer? Try to understand, guys. This is very, very important.
Yes, sir, clear.
Clear, but I have a question. Like there are different child windows also, like flight, hotels, buses. Then individual load balancer is used for each of them.
Exactly. Yes. I'll show you with the graph. Don't worry, guys. I'll show you with the. You will get the. You will get the more idea about it. I'll show you with the graph. Wait. Okay. Let's suppose Wait, guys. Okay. Let's suppose we have the user. This is our client or you and me, right? We are on the sitting here trying to access our McMatrip application, right? This is nothing but our user, or we can say that our client. It means our what we can say that our McMatrip client user or we can say that this is our client. Sorry guys. Client for our McMatrip application or client for our Amazon application, right? So the client is, first of all, client is goes with our McMatrip application. Client is going to enter www.makemytrip.com. Right? Sorry. Makemytrip.com. Client is going to enter, client is going to open the mobile phone or laptop and enter on the browser like www.makemytrip.com, right? So at this moment, client is enter into this UI, right? This is our user interface. This is the front end part of this application, right? MakeMyTrip application. Now, at this moment, here we have one traffic control system that is nothing but the load balancer. The load balancer is also nothing but the traffic control system. Okay, here we have the load balancer. So that is nothing but load balancer. Right? This is our load balancer. So load balancer have the technique that I just clear about this technique, guys. That is nothing but the round robin technique. Round robin technique. What is a round robin technique, guys? Suppose we have the multiple servers, like suppose we have the 5 servers. The first request is goes to the first server, second request is goes to the second server, fifth request is goes to the fifth server, sixth request is again goes to the first server. That is nothing but the round robin technique, right? And this load balancer is in here, like with the help of this flight API and server, right? In between this, our load balancer is accessed. Now, let's suppose here we have our API, that is nothing but the flight API. This is nothing but our flight API, guys. Wait. Right? This is our first API that we already have here, right? This is our flight API. Now, flight API contain only one server, right? It means we have one server, and on this one server we have our APIs deployed, right? This is nothing but our flight server FS. Let me write here FS1. It means this is our flight server 1. Now, the situation you can able to see here. We have MakeMyTrip application, later we have the load balancer, and later we have the flight API, right? So flight API contain flight server 1. It means the flight is rest on this server 1, guys. Flight is rest on the server number 1. It means we have only one server is available, right? So normal situation is in the daily basis we have the 10,000 requests. People are going to access the flight server. People are going to access the MakeMyTrip application for the flight booking, and people are want to book the ticket, right? Because we have the normal. We are, current is a normal day, right? So upcoming days, what will happen? We have the situation like India-Pakistan match in the Dubai. So at this moment, we want to increase the number of server, right? So inside of this flight server, it means this is our flights, not a flights API. We can able to write or we can able to create one more server. So this will happen by this will happen by the auto scaling, guys, but I'm doing it by manually, right? So this is our flight server number 2, fs-2, because according to the number of requests, the auto scaling will work on it, and auto scaling will increase the number of servers, guys, right? Again, auto scaling will increase one more server, guys. That is nothing but flight server number 3, fs-3, right? So this situation is happen because we have the upcoming multiple requests. According to that, auto scaling will work on it, and auto scaling will increase the number of server here, right? So instead of the flight API, this is our flights API, right? Instead of the flights API, we have this flight server number 1, we have the flight server number 2, and we have the flight server number 3, right? And that is nothing but, in outer part of this flights API, that is nothing but our target group, guys. Let me write here, flight target group. Then what is a target group, guys? What is the target group? The target group is nothing but, instead of the target group, multiple servers are going to attached with the target group. It means the target group contain the multiple servers, right? So flights API contain the target group, and target group contain the multiple servers, right? And in between this, we have the 3 servers right now, right? If requests are coming maximum at this moment, then automatically server count is going to increase. So instead of the target group, one more server is going to be created here, right? One more server is going to created here. It means we have the 4 to 5 server is going to created inside of the target group, and target group contain the number of servers, right? Let's suppose we have the trains API as well. Let me write here, or let me create here one more train API. We have the train API. Trains API. So same situation for this train API, right? When the Diwali occasion, automatically our trains, the bookings from the train is going to increase by the peoples, and automatically the load is increased, and here auto scaling will work on it, and auto scaling will increase the number of trains, guys. Again, here one more server is available, one more server is created by the auto scaling, right? TS-2, right? That is enough for this train, right? And we have one more API, that is nothing but the hotel API. Hotel API, right? Also, in the hotels API, we have the number of servers are available according to the number of requests, right? HS-1, sorry. Right? HS-1, right? This is our one server is created, and one more server is created here by the auto scaling. HS-2, right? So every API have one target group, okay? So flights API have one target group, that is nothing but the flight target group, right? Then trains API have one target group, that is nothing but trains target group, right? And hotels API have one target group, that is nothing but the hotels target group. So target group contain the number of servers, which are calculated by the auto scaling. Number of servers are a maximum for this flight. Then auto scaling will increase the number of server in our flight. Number of server for these flights, right? If number of server is increased by the trains, auto scaling will increase the number of servers here. I mean, this is our parent API. Parent API contain the child servers are available, right? Hotels API as well. If number of requests are increased for this hotels API, then it will automatically increase the hotel server, and which are rest inside of the target group. Every flights API have one target group. Target group contain the servers. Every trains API as well target group. Target group contain the train servers. Hotels API have one target group, and target group contain the hotel server. Now, how load balancer is going to work, guys? Now, we have the lots of peoples. The peoples are going to fire the request from here, right? Because people are or user or client log in this website www.makemytrip.com, right? Accordingly, the number of requests are first of all enter into this load balancer, right? Number of requests are increased here. Number of requests are enter into this load balancer, guys, right? Then what will happen? Load balancer have one technique that is nothing but the round robin technique. Load balancer, first of all, load balancer will identify which request is coming from this user. If this request is for this flight, then what load balancer does here, guys? Load balancer will load balancer will transfer this request to the flight server number first. Are you guys clear about this point? Because load balancer first of all identify which kind of request comes from this user. Load balancer identify this user is want to book for this flight. Then first request is enter into the flight, right? Then
But
yes,
for this procedure, ASCG, auto scaling is also configured inside.
yes, auto scaling inside of this API, guys. Between this server and load balancer, we have the auto scaling, but we can discuss later about this point, guys. First of all, try to understand the load balancer, then we can discuss about this auto scaling. In the next session as well, we can discuss about this, guys. Okay. So let's suppose we have the 10 requests, right? First request is for this flight. Then load balancer will analyze this request, validate the request, and this request goes to the flight server number first, right? You will get the second request, or user is going to fire the second request for this train. Then first request goes to the train server number first inside of the target group. Again, user have one more, load balancer have one more request by the user for the flight booking again. Then this request goes to the flight server number second, guys. This request is not going to the flight server number first, because flight server number first is already busy with the first request and is going to preparing the output, right? Later flight server number first is preparing the output, and it will send the response back to the user, right? So that's why second flight request, it distribute to the second server, because load balancer is a knows about the flight server one is already busy with the first user. So load balancer load balancers get one more request for the flight server. Then load balancer will distribute this load to the flight server number. So flight server number 2. Again, load balancer comes with the flight request. Then this request also goes to the flight server number 3, and that is nothing but the load balancer, guys. Or we can say that this is nothing but our round robin technique. Are you guys clear about this point, everyone? Again, you will get the fourth request. Then where we can reach out this request, guys, where we can transfer this request. You will get the fourth request for this point.
Fourth server.
We have the 3 server only, and you will get the fourth request. Then when
first server.
Exactly. Again, this fourth request goes to the first server, guys. Again, you will get the fifth request goes to the second server. Again, you will get the sixth request goes to the third server, right? And that is nothing but the round robin technique that we have inside of the load balancer. Are you guys clear about this point? It means load balancer automatically distribute the load to the multiple server that we already discussed here. Load balancer is one of the service or device that distribute the load on the multiple servers. right? And multiple servers which are handled by the auto scaling according to the number of requests are going to fire by the users, right? So that is a very major point, like how auto scaling is going to work. We'll discuss later about this auto scaling, but try to understand the load balancer and round robin technique. So in between this API, or in between inside of this make my trip, every API is working like a smooth, because we have the load balancer and auto scaling. First of all, we have the load balancer because load balancer will distribute the load on the multiple server. Accordingly, client is easily get the output, the quick response, right? By the quick response. So I hope everyone can understood about this load balancer concept, guys. Okay, we can start for this practical session. Are you guys clear about this point, or anyone have some doubts? Then you can raise your hand, or you can unmute yourself. Let me know about this point if you have any doubts, guys. Same for this hotel API. Number of requests are increased. Then first request goes to the HS1, second service goes to the HS2, third service goes to the HS1. Right? For this train also same. It will happen the same, right? So every API have the load balancer. Every API rest on the load balancer. Every API contain the number of servers with auto scaling. Are you guys clear about this point, everyone? If you have any doubt, then please let me know, because we can start right now for this practical session. I'll show you how load balancer is distribute the load on the multiple server when we are trying to fire the request. Okay, so we can start for this practical session, guys. First of all, let me log into my AWS console. Okay, so here what we need, guys, we required here one virtual machine, because let's suppose create one scenario same like that. We have one load balancer. The name of the load balancer is a make my trip, and we don't have the actual API. We don't have this application, guys, backend application, but we can create one dummy API, flight API. Like we can rename at a flight API. Okay. Later we can create one target group, and later we can create the number of server instead of the target group. Okay. First of all, I'm going to create one EC2 instance, virtual machine, and on this virtual machine we can try to install one API. Okay. So let me create one virtual machine. Just go to the AWS console. There we have the service that is nothing but the EC2. EC2 is Elastic Compute Cloud, right? So just click on the launch instance. Right here, I'm going to write here the flight API. Okay, API first, or flight application hyphen first. Okay, we can select the normal Linux operating system. Then we can select the free tier eligible T2 micro. This is our instant type. It will get the space for us. Instant type is a 1 GB memory, right? We will get the free tier eligible. We can use this free of cost. Then I'm going to create one key pair. Let me write the key pair name as a make my trip. Then .pem file, by default it is selected because we have the mobile stream. Mobile stream is open SSH, right? If you have the putty, then you can use the .ppq file, the format, right? Then select the security group. So we already have the default one. We can select this one and just click on the wait, guys, one more thing is there. Yeah, just go to the advanced details, and because whenever you can access this virtual machine, then you want to see one message, right? So for that I'm just going to enter into this advanced details. Just click on this advanced details, and this bottom line we have the user data. This is the optional, but it's recommended because you want to see something when you can click on this flight application, right? I want to see something here, so that's why I'm just going to write here something like first of all you can add here one shabang. It means this is one of the shell scripting language. I'll give you this notes and you can copy this content and paste on this user data, guys. Shabang, it means hashtag apostrophe, then we have /bin, we have /bash, right? And here I want to first of all give the permission for this user sudo su. It means I'm giving the permission to the root user, so that's why su is a root user. Then I want to install here one server. So this is our Linux machine, right? So that's why the package name is m install httpd server, right? Sorry guys, httpd server -y. This is the command m install httpd -y. It will help us to install the httpd server, and default port number for this httpd is 80. So with the help of 80 port number we can able to access the flight API, right? Now letter cd it means current directory to var directory to www directory. There we have one HTML directory, right? When we are trying to install this server, inside of the server we have the folders are available. So I want to enter into this HTML folder, right? First I'm enter into this var folder, then later enter into this www folder, then later I am entering into this HTML folder, right? And inside of the HTML folder we have the index.xml file, and inside of the index.xml file we can write the message that you want. Because when you're trying to access our API, it means flight API, you can able to see one message, welcome to the flight API or anything, right? So I'm going to write here echo is one command. It will help us to print the message on the server. Like in the Java we have the system.out.println, right? In the Python we have the out.println. Similarly, if you want to print some content on the server, then we have one command is a echo. In the double quote, give me the HTML tag, HTML open tag, and give me the header also is header 1 open tag. I'm going to write here the flight server -1, right? This is our flight server -1. Let me close header tag, h1 tag. I have closed this one. Also we can close the HTML tag, right? Sorry guys. And inside of this HTML folder we have index.html file, guys. Index.html file. So this content is going to enter, this content is going to write inside of this index.html file. So that's why I'm just giving one symbol like this, right? So cd var www html content one index.html, and I'm going to write one message flight server -1. This message is going to print on the server because we are giving here the echo command, right? Now let me start the service with the help of command service httpd and start, right? Those are the commands. Those commands are going to run our mobile system, guys, right? Those commands are going to run our mobile system, right? First of all, this is our shabang sudo su. We have the permission for the root user. Later I'm going to install one httpd server. Those command I can able to do it by manually also, but we have the user data. This is our option, right? According to that also we can install any kind of servers or any kind of application, any what we can say, the tools we can download or install from user data, right? On any virtual machines, right? Sudo su m install httpd -1. later we have those folders. Folder contain one index.html file, and there I'm going to write one flight server API first, right? And service is going to start. Now let me launch this instance. Let me open the mobile stream. Right, our service, successfully initiate with our instance. So goes to this instance. Right, this is the running instance. Just copy this public IP. Let me delete those one. Click on session, SSH, remote host is our public IP, specify username. We had selected our Amazon Linux machine, right? So for this username, default username for the Amazon Linux machine is a EC2-user, right? Port number is the same. Then go to the advanced SSH, click on this use private key and select this downloaded private key. Just click on download and we have the makemytrip.pem. Open, okay. Just click on accept. Don't do anything here. We already done with our user data, right? So if you cannot use the user data, then you need to add those command manually here, like sudo su. Then after that you need to try to install the HTTP server, like yum install http-y, right? Later we need to enter manually instead of the var www and html, and there we have the index.html file, and then instead of that you can able to write any message that you want to print whenever we can access our application through the server, right? So we already done with our installation, guys. We already done with our message that we already added in our index.html file. Just try to access this API now. So first of all, we need to check the HTTPD work with, we have the HTTPD server, right? Sorry. We have the HTTPD server, HTTPD. And always HTTPD, this is our server. Always HTTPD is run with the port number 80. So we need to verify this port number is already added in our security group or not. So let's go there, go to the security. Right, and here you can check in our inbound tools we have the 8081 port. We already have the 80 port number. This 80 port number should enable in our security group, otherwise we cannot access our flight server API, guys, right? Now let me copy this and go to the browser, paste here :80. It will take some time, guys. Let me remove this as yes, right? So you can try to access this flight server one. You can try to access this one. Just click on this URL. You will able to see the flight server one. Sorry, because we already mentioned the flight server one in our index.html file with the help of echo command. Echo will help us to print our any message on the server. We can write any message, right? So this is our flight server is created. Right, we are started from this servers, okay? So later we can create the target group and we can connect our servers to the target group, okay? This is our flight server number 1, just we had created, guys. Are you able to access this URL, guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it means we can able to access our flight API 1, right? Let me create one more API because we have the lots of loads, right? We have the 3 servers, so we can create the 2 servers here and we can try to access it by the load balancer, right? Okay, let me create one more server. Again, go to the AWS, go to the instance EC2, right? Click on the launch instance, Now this time you can write here flight application -2. Again select the Amazon Linux, right? Free tier eligible. We can select the instance type as a free tier eligible, which will give the 1 GB of memory. Key pair, you can select the previous one as well, make my trip. Then select existing group, click on the default one, right? Later, just click on the advanced details, right? And here you can write the message like shabong. It means hashtag apostrophe /bin/bash, right? Later, I want to install, first of all, I want to enter into the root user with the help of sudo su command. Later, you can install here HTTPD server. HTTPD is one of the server. HTTP server have the port number is a 8080. HTTPD server have the port number is 80. HTTPD-y. With the help of this command, you can run this command on the mobile system as well, but we have this option, right? According to that, we have this shortcut. Accordingly, we can also try to install everything from here, right? So this is the best practice. You can try to add any commands in here and automatically it will launch on our mobile system. Sudo su, later cd, then we have one var folder, later we have one www folder, and inside of it we have a HTML folder, right? Later I want to print something here, so I'm going to write here the echo command. There I'm giving here the HTML open tag, HTML. I'm giving here the header as well, like h1 header. Then let me write here flight server -2 because we already up with the server number 1, right? -2. Later I'm going to close this HTML tag, h1 tag first, right? And then close this HTML tag as well. Now, and those things, this content I want to add it in our index.html file, which is already present in our this path, var www and html. Inside of it, we have this index.html file, right? And inside of it, I'm going to add the message like flight server number 2. Now, let me start this server. How we can start it, guys? With the help of service httpd start. Are you guys clear about this point? Everyone? This is a simple way that we can start with our server and we can write the message on the server, right? Right. Finally, you can write here service httpd start. Just click on the launch instance. Right. Just click on the instance ID. You will get the one more server here. This is the running. Click on this IP address. Open the new browser. Add here :80. Click on enter. http:// with our public IP. Right. Our flight server 2 is up. So you can able to access with the help of this URL, guys. Try to access it and let me know, guys, if you can able to access this one. Right. This is our flight server number 1. This is our flight server number 2. It means those are the servers which are available in our flights API, right? Those are the child server that we had created here, right? So we had created this flight server number 1. We had created this flight server number 2. Are you guys clear this point, everyone?
Yes.
Now the next thing is we can create the target group as well, right? Because target group contains the server. A target group is nothing but the collection of EC2 instance, or we can say that the collection of the server which are available, right? So let me go to the AWS, right? And there we have the target group. Now let me create first the target group. Go to the EC2, right? Here you can able to see the target groups, right? Just click on this target groups. You can click on this create target group, right? So I want to add the instances whichever already we have, right? Flight server number 1 and flight server number 2. Those are the servers which are rest on the instance, because we had created EC2 instance first, EC2 instance second. EC2 instance first is for flight server number 1, EC2 instance second is for flight server number 2. Now I want to connect my instances into our target group, flight target group, right? I'm not going to give this example for this train and hotel. You can try to do it by your assignment, but I'm going to give the example for this flight only, right? And we can try to connect through the load balancer. Later you can create train API similarly for this flight API. Later you can create the hotel API same like a flight API, right? I'm going to give the example for this flight only, okay? So we had done with the flight number 1 and flight number 2, sorry, flight server number 1 and flight server number 2, right? Now let me create the target group, and target group configured with our instances, right? Now you can add the protocol. We already have it, HTTP with the port number as a 80. Scroll down, nothing to do any changes here, guys. Don't change anything here. Just see everything is up to date or not. We need to create here the instances already we have there, right? Later, yeah, you can add the target group name here, guys. Okay, let me add the target group name as flight TG. That's it. Okay, the target group name is a flight TG. It means flight target group. For this train also, you can create one more target group. You can add the train TG. For this hotel also, you can add the hotel TG, right? So go to the down and just click on the next. What is this, guys? Only is it a maximum 32 alphabetical characters including hyphens are allowed. Okay, space is not allowed here. So you can add the underscore. No, underscore is not allowed. TG hyphens are allowed. Okay. Right. So we had successfully registered our flight -TG. So we have the available instances in our EC2. So instead of the flight TG, I want to add only my FS1 and FS2, right? Where is my FS1? This is our, let me check. Right, flight application 1 and flight application 2. So you can click on this flight application 1 and flight application 2, right? So rest of servers which are already available on our EC2 virtual machines. So forget about this point, guys. We already have the flight application 1 and flight application 2. So later you can just click on this include as a pending below, right? Automatically our servers are inserted into the targets. So targets contain the two. It means we have the two servers are available. It means flight server number 1 and flight server 2. We already registered in our flight-TG, right? It means targets contain two. Target contain two server, right? Just click on create target group. So guys, we have successfully created the target group. The name is flight TG. Anomaly detection is automatically applied to all registered targets. Result can be viewed in our target tabs. So when you can click on this target group, automatically you will get the flight TG. Flight TG our target group name. When you click on this flight TG, you will get the two servers, flights application 1, flight application 2, right? If you want to create one more server, then you can create and you can smoothly register with our target group. Then instead of the register target group, you will get the three servers as well, right? Are you guys clear about this point? Target group. Any doubts up to here? Yes, guys?
No, it's okay.
Okay, that's great. So we are done with the flight TG, and flight TG contain two servers, the flight application 1 and flight application 2, because we have the upcoming user requests. Accordingly, we are preparing with the extra two servers, right? Later, Let's goes to the diagram and we can able to see here flight TG contain the two target group, right? Later we have the time to create one this load balancer, guys, right? Let's go to the load balancer now. Here also in the left corner, you can scroll down and you can able to see the load balancer. Okay, just click on this load balancer. We don't have the load balancer right now, right? Just click on the create load balancer, right? So those are the types of the load balancer available. The first one is application load balancer. Second one is a network load balancer. This is our gateway balancer. Gateway load balancer. And one more is, but this is what legacy application like classic load balancer. In the market, the classic load balancer won't work. So right now in the trending, we have the application, network, and gateway. Most of people are used for this application because application load balancer is accessible for this Lambda as well, right? So Lambda is one of the major service from the AWS. So that's why everyone is used for this application load balancer, guys. So just click on this create. So here you can write the load balancer name. I'm going to give the load balancer name as a make my trip. Okay, I'm going to give here make my trip, right? So here we have the options like schemas, internal facing and internal. Let me see this servers internet facing traffic, hash public IP address, DNS name, resolve, require public subnet, server internet has private IP address. So actually we have the public, right? Public IP address, because when we can create this load balancer, you also able to access this load balancer, right? So that's why I'm just giving the public access for it. If you can click on this internal, then only authorized person can access this load balancer, right? So that's why I'm just going to give here the internet facing. Later, we have the load balancer IP address type. We already had created with the IPv4, right? So here you can select the IPv4. Later, we have the networking mapping. This is our VPC. VPC is nothing but the virtual private cloud. This will help us to manage the network, right? So you can, keep as it is by default. Later, we have the IP pools. Don't change anything here. And we have the availability zones. So you can select everything. So what exactly the availability zone? You can able to understand later, because availability zone is a very big concept. We have number of availability zones are available. AP South 1, AP South 2, and this is the region. And here we have the availability zones, right? The region is Asia Pacific. Inside of it, we have the availability zone is Mumbai, Osaka, Seoul, Singapore, Sydney, Tokyo, right? So I'm going to give the permission for the AP South 1A, AP South 1B, AP South 1C. So people are from the China, he is also accessing our application, because we have the availability zone for the 1A, 1B, 1C. So that already mentioned in our AWS page. So you can refer. Otherwise, I'll give you one details for this availability zone, guys. Right? Who can able to access our application, from which country we can access our application, everything I'll give you. Then we have the security group. By default, already default security group is added here. Don't change it, anything here. Later, we have the listener, right? So listener is nothing but our server. Our 80 port number is going to listen our APIs, right? Because we already added here :80. Accordingly, our server is going to access our application, right? And here you can add the target group, because servers are connected to servers are registered inside of the target group, and target group is connected to our load balancer, right? So in the load balancer, we can add the target group. Our target group name is a flight TG. If you want to create one more target group, then you can create for the train, right? Also, you can select the flight target group and train target group for this single load balancer, right? So we have only one load balancer, and we have the multiple target groups, right? Because like when we can accessing our make my trip application, you have the multiple APIs are available, right? Flights, hotels, holidays packages, trains, buses, cabs, right? So those are target groups which are registered to our make my trip load balancer, right? Keep in your mind. Now, I had selected the listener as a flight target group. So goes down, go to the down, just click on the create load balancer. Yeah, successfully we had created this load balancer, guys. The name is a make my trip, right? It might take a few minutes for a load balancer to fully set up and route traffic. It will take some time, guys. At least, 3 to 4 minutes will take some time. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts, then you can raise your hand. We had successfully created our load balancer. We already done with our flight servers, and those are registered in our flight target group. Now, this time, we are trying to connect our target group, flight target group, to our load balancer. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts, then you can raise your hand, guys. Any doubts, guys?
एक नंबरला सध्या पायथॉन अँड डेटा सायन्स एक नंबरला. 2 नंबरला आहे तुमचं हे काय म्हणतात डेव्हऑप्स AWS प्लस.
Yes, guys. Any doubts?
Sir, actually, I am new in AWS.
Okay.
So I want to know about when I set up the target group 1 and 2. There you need to set up a project, then need to upload that project. There is an option of uploading, or how to set up for the actual project.
Okay, so basically EC2 instance we had created with our EC2 instance. EC2 instance is one of the major service. EC2 is nothing but the elastic computer. With the help of we can create the virtual machine. So on this virtual machine we had successfully deployed our application. Now we don't have the application, actual application. So for this we had created one dummy application, like with the help of a user data. Okay, so basically what exactly will happen here? So basically on this virtual machine we can deploy our actual application, right? So this is flight server number 1. This is nothing but our actual application, right? Flight API. This is rest on our EC2 virtual machine. On this virtual machine we can deploy this application, and inside of this application we can create the child servers. Now we don't have the actual application, so we had created one dummy server. The name is a flight server number 1, flight server number 2, right?
Yes.
So you can create one virtual machine. On this virtual machine, if you have the flight application, then you can deploy it on this virtual machine, and later you can register this flight application or flight server to the target group, right? If you don't have the servers, those are the extra servers which are recommended by the auto scaling, because we have the lots of requests are coming in upcoming days, right? So that's why we had prepared for this upcoming request. So because of this, we had created those 3 servers. If don't have those servers, extra servers, then also we need to register this flight API inside of the target group. Every time we need to create the flight API. We need to register this flight API for this target group, guys. And flight API is nothing but our actual application, right? So we had created the dummy, but it will like deploy our actual application on the server. So you just what we can say that. Imagine this scenario. We have the flight API. Flight actual application. Let's suppose this is our flight actual application, which is created with the help of a Java application or Python application, right? Which already deployed on the server, right? And accordingly we can able to access the data from this flight. But in our situation we don't have this application, so that's why we had only created one dummy application. Dummy API. Right, we already mentioned the name inside of the HTML file as a flight application or flight server number 1, flight server number 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Any doubts? Anything else? You can raise your hand, guys. Let me check. Yes, this is in the active state. Right now, our load balancer is done. Load balancer is completed. Load balancer, this API, we can access it from the browser, guys. So we are done with the load balancer. Load balancer is in the active state. Load balancer is connected to our target group, and target group contain the flight server number 1, flight server number 2, which we have already register in our target group, guys, right? So now go to the load balancer. We have the make my trip load balancer, right, which is in the active state. Type of the load balancer is application. Schema is internet facing. It means this is our public. Publicly we can access it. IP address type is IPv4. VPC ID already attached. VPC is a virtual private cloud, guys. Then availability zone we had done with the pre-availability zone. Then this is our security group, right? Default one. And this is our DNS name. This is very, very important. DNS is nothing but the domain name system, right? So make my trip, www.makemytrip.com. This is nothing but the DNS, right? So we had also created one DNS, and date of created is today's date, right? So now you just click on this make my trip, and here you can able to see everything whatever we had, recall it, right? So here we have the ARN of the load balancer, and here we have the DNS of this load balancer, guys. Now just copy this make my trip DNS, guys, and now you can close this one, because we had done with our load balancer public IP. This is our load balancer public IP, and according to that the user is going to fire the request, right, according to this load balancer IP, and user can able to access the flights API, and user can able to book our flight tickets, train tickets, and hotel tickets, right? Now let me go to the browser and press this makemytrip.com. This is our DNS IP, right? So the first request, see guys, I had click on this flight booking, makemytrip.com DNS IP. Our first request goes to the flight server number 2, right? Now let me click on the, let me try to book one more ticket. I had booked with I'm trying to book the flight server. That's why I'm just accessing the flight API. Let me refresh it. See guys, the first request is come to the first server, second request is come to the second server, third is goes to the first server, fourth is goes to the second server, fifth is goes to the first server, sixth is going to the second server. And this is nothing but the round robin technique that we had discussed. Are you guys clear about this point, everyone? Load balancer is trying to distribute the load on the multiple server. I am going to give the first request, right? I'm putting the first request, or I'm clicking on the first server. Clicking on this make my trip application. Automatically load balancer, what doing, guys? Load balancer is distribute the load first to the second to first. You can also try it out. You can try for this load balancer DNS IP. Accordingly, you can able to see the demo of our load balancer, right? So load balancer have the round robin technique. So load balancer knows we are trying to fetch for this. We are trying to book the flights tickets, right? If you have the trains API, if you have the hotels API, also you can register for this train TG and hotels TG, and those TG we can connect to our single load balancer. We can try to refresh.
Yes.
So refresh it means our API is going to hit.
Sir, actually, I have one doubt. How to load balancer decide the round robin technique? If
Load balancer have the advantages of the round robin technique.
okay, already inbuilt features.
Yeah, exactly. Load balancer is nothing but the round robin technique. It means load balancer have the round robin technique. Load balancer is nodes. We already first request is transfer to the first server. So load balancer is nodes. We already transfer it to the first server. So accordingly, load balancer is transferred the second request to the second server. And load balancer have already registered with those servers, right? So we had registered only 2 servers. So that's why load balancer is transferred first request to the first, second request to the second, third request is against to the first, because load balancer is already registered with the target group, and target group contain the number of servers. We already created only the 2 servers. If you want, then you can create the 3 more servers, or 3, 4, 5 servers, right? And later you can create the load balancer, and automatically our request is going to transfer to the each and every servers, guys. Everyone? Yes, guys, any doubts? I'll give you the notes, okay? Don't worry about it. I'll give you the every notes, and there we already have these commands. Our incident notes is already available, so you can try to create the target group. You can try to create the servers as well. Later you can try to create the load balancer, and you can able to what we can is that we can able to see the demo of this load balancer, guys. So guys, don't worry about that. We'll provide the notes in our workshop group, and you will get the workshop certificate as well. Once you attend this demo, everyone can able to receive the workshop, our certificate, institute certificate. So we'll provide the recording session also in our WhatsApp group. So you can connect through our LinkedIn account, guys. You can follow our LinkedIn page, and you can get the more idea about the upcoming sessions.
Sir, means how is the difference between the AWS and Azure server?
Okay, so basically we have 3 types of the cloud. We have the AWS is going to provide the cloud. AWS is Amazon. We have the Azure, which comes from the Microsoft team, right? So Microsoft is also have the Azure cloud, and we have the Google. So Google have also our own cloud. Their own cloud is GCP. So whatever AWS is going to provide the services, those services also provided by the Azure. Those services also provided by the GCP. Okay, but what difference is being that the infrastructure. For the load balancer, we are able to see like that of infrastructure, right? We can able to see like that of things, instance ID, summary, output, everything. But for the Azure, the infrastructure is different, right? So only the thing is that, and one more thing, like AWS have most of the services AWS provided by the free of cost for the practicing purpose. Because when you are the new member in our AWS, then for the next 1 year you can access the free of cost services. But for the Azure and GCP, you need to pay some amount from the starting of this day. First of the day. So in the market, 80% market is only depend on this AWS service. AWS cloud, because they have also like some of the advantages by the AWS. AWS infrastructure too. That's why.
Actually, yesterday I was using AWS DevOps, Azure DevOps board. That time I'm using that time. I want to know about that things both. What is the Azure cloud and AWS cloud?
Yeah,
The difference between both.
Yeah, both are the same. Both are providing the same services, but have some infrastructure cost, and UI part is only different. But some of the peoples are registered for the AWS account. Some of the peoples are registered for the Azure account. Doesn't matter which one we can use. Everything is going to provide our infrastructure, guys. Cloud platforms. So the organization can decide which cloud account is superior for us, right? So it depends.
Yes. Means all the features available in AWS also available in Azure, like load balancing or
everything is the same. Yes, everything is the same. If you have the knowledge about the AWS, then also you can easily access the Azure, and also you can easily access, or you can easily work on this GCP as well. Okay.
Okay.
Because load balancer, like you should know about the only concept. What does the load balancer? What does the auto scaling? What does the EC2? Right? What does the S3? So similar features are available. Similar services are available in the Azure and in GCP as well. Okay. Yeah. So guys, workshop certificate you personally ping to our institute owner, so they will give you the certificate for our today's workshop. If you have any doubts, then you can reach out to our notes, right? Those are the handwritten notes, so you can try to access it our load balancer, today's session, with the help of those notes. We already have those commands, and if you have any doubts for this, then you can ping on this WhatsApp group, right? And you can follow our LinkedIn account, so you will get the more idea about our upcoming sessions, guys. So for this upcoming Saturday, we have some plans. For infrastructure, creating the infrastructure like Kubernetes and Docker. So you will get the notification from our LinkedIn accounts, guys. So you can follow our LinkedIn account, so you will get the information for this next week. If you have any doubts regarding of this session, guys, then you can ping me on this WhatsApp. Otherwise, we already have this workshop group, right? So if people are not connected to our workshop group, then you can get the URL of our WhatsApp group, and you can connect it with our WhatsApp group, guys. Yeah, any doubts, guys?
No doubts for today's session, sir. But today is my first class actually. I missed previous class how to set up the Amazon web server, AWS web server, and such type of things. So I want notes actually of previous class.
Sorry. Yeah, you can. In the last session also we had posted some notes, so you can try it out first, and later you can try it out with load balancer. And upcoming session we have infrastructure. So guys, this is very, very important for this Kubernetes. Some of the people want to know about the Kubernetes, because in the market the Java is not an option, right? If you have the Java, then also you should know about the deployment part of the application, right? So let's see. We can try to create an infrastructure in these upcoming sessions, and we'll try to deploy our application through the Kubernetes.
Actually, I am a .NET developer.
Okay.
Currently, I'm working. But I recently joined this group yesterday, so previous class notes is not available for me. Because
Okay. So you can request to them. They will give you the last class of the notes as well. You can request to the management team.
Hi Gaurav, this is Harish. Is there any last? I'm also today is the first class. So can you provide me previous class recording?
Yeah. You can go to the YouTube also, and our session is also live, so you can access those sessions. I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you share me the YouTube link here?
Yeah, sure.
In chat?
Sure. I'll give it.
And that WhatsApp group also you provided this WhatsApp group, right?
Okay.
Can you share here?
I'll give you the link of the WhatsApp group, workshop WhatsApp group, and our live sessions link.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, guys, any doubts?
And when you give certificate?
Sorry. Yes, Pawan. Hello. Yes, Pawan. Okay, no problem. If you have any doubt, then you can ping me also. You can put the message on